How's it going, you sexy beasts? Happy Friday to one and all, and also happy Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a fantastic day with your significant other, or if you're single, I hope you just had a mega super awesome, badass day overall. Just remember, I'll always be here for you, baby. Anyway, since today is Friday, and should be everyone's favorite day of the week, it is time for an episode of the Fan-Picked Friday Challenge. This is a series where you, with all of your heart-shaped chocolatey goodness, suggest a setup for me to run in Planetside 2 and see how terribly I do with it. Last week's episode was the Juggernaut loadout suggested by Kamikaze78, which featured the new conglomerate's jackhammer heavy assault weapon. If you'd like to make a suggestion for next week's episode, go ahead and leave a comment in the section below, and I will choose one of the most upvoted comments for next week's Fan-Picked Friday Challenge. So today we are back into the spandex boots of the Vonder's Sovereignty with a very trusty submachine gun. So this challenge comes from Ace of Spa6es, or Spades, which they call the Hidden Hunter. They state, these elite warriors are the most skilled fighters in the Vonu arsenal. Their abilities at going unseen are second to none, allowing them to efficiently take over small bases and get behind the front line. Their well-coordinated attacks leave the enemy in confusion as to where the hunters are. Just as quickly as they came, they disappeared. This is the style of the hunters. So, primary, Sirius SX12 with 2x Reflex, Suppressor, Laser Sight, and Soft Point Ammunition. Secondary, Cerberus or Manticore, which I chose the Manticore. Attachments are Suppressor and Laser Sight. Gear, Recon Detect Device. Consumables, Frag or Decoy, which I opted for Frags, and Proximity Mines for utility. I might have also slipped some ammo belt in there, just for those extra bullets to come in handy. So thank you so very much for your setup, Ace of Spades. Also, thank you for choosing a second generation submachine gun. You are amazing. If you are unaware, there are 2 generations of submachine guns for each faction, in which the second generation of submachine guns that were introduced into the game are far superior to the first generation. The only toss-up is between the Blitz and the Cyclone, which those are all about personal preference. The factional equivalent to the Sirius SX12 are the Blitz GD10 for the new conglomerate, and the PDW-16 Hailstorm for the Terran Republic. So let's go ahead and talk a few numbers so we know what exactly we're dealing with. The Sirius SX12 deals 125 damage maximum per shot up to 6 meters and falls off to a minimum damage of 84 at 42 meters. It fires at a rate of a very delicious 845 rounds per minute, has a 50 round magazine, and another 200 in the reserve. Short reload speed is 2.4 seconds, and a long reload speed is 3.4 seconds. Bullet velocity is a snail's pace 400 meters per second, which is further slowed down by our suppressor and soft point ammunition. Now, as I've stated previously, and I'll state until the day I die, I'm not the best Infiltrator player by any stretch of the imagination. So expect to see plenty of mega darps on my part and tons of misplays. Anyway, this loadout was hella fun. It always seems that the Infiltrator setups make me giddy since I'm terrible at Infiltrators, and it's a challenge to use considering you have less health than every other class in the battlefield. This Sirius is so fun to use, even with such a health disadvantage. The crazy high fire rate and massive magazine size means you can just spray and pray all day and get tons of kills without even having to aim down sights. Though when I did aim down sights, the increased strafe speed from submachine guns made going toe-to-toe extremely easy. So what about the actual impact for battles, though? I'm not so sure. Since any class now has access to recon darts through the use of the crossbow, Infiltrators are kind of sitting in this weird stagnant pond where any class can fill their role in the battle. Due to this, I played this loadout really aggressively without any heed to my allies. I would traverse the battlefield, infiltrate the enemy's defenses, and do some serious back rage, which more often than not got me killed. But I think the true strength of this loadout is its hit and run ability, since both of the weapons are suppressed, and since we can, frickin' turn invisible, it was far too easy to play the minds of my opponents and take them down with ease. Which I think Ace of Spades is focused on that kind of gameplay solely from the description they wrote for this Hidden Hunter Infiltrator. The Sirius SX12 is a very potent submachine gun, especially while coupled with an infiltrator, but what about actually using the setup in game for your own personal benefit? You know, totally doable. A suppressed loadout is always my preferred way to run infiltrators, and the Sirius Manticore combination is quite potent. As for the proximity mines, I haven't found them to be of much use. Just about everyone and their brother and mother are running around with flak armor, so the highly skillful tactic of placing a proximity triggered kill device isn't always the best way to go. Having said that, I'd probably prefer to run with the medical kits in its stead in order to get the highest fighting potential out of the setup. If the Manticore isn't filling the role you want it to as a fallback weapon, or even to use to engage targets at longer ranges, then the new Hunter QXC crossbow might pique your interest. Through its design, it won't disclose your information while firing, and it is handy for picking up targets at longer ranges, where the Sirius is a little too weak to engage. So there you have it, you sexy beasts, the Hidden Hunter loadout by Ace of Spades, featuring the Sirius SX12 submachine gun available to the Vonder's Sovereignty. Thank you for your badass suggestion, Mr. Ace of Spades, or Mrs. Thank you just for your suggestion. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode, please give it a big ass thumbs up. If you have an idea for next week's episode, go ahead and leave a comment in the section below. Make sure to include any specifics such as weapons, attachment skills, class, and whatever else comes to mind. I'll pick one of the most upvoted comments to use for next week's Fan-Picked Friday Challenge. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you would like to see more videos like these, then go ahead and subscribe.